Spirits with Spirits.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Spirits of Spirits, Season 3, Episode 7, Cryptids Part 3. I'm your host, John Watkins, all the way from beautiful Colorado, and your host with the most, Mr. David Lowe, all the way from beautiful, sunny California. How are you doing today?
Fine. Doing okay, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing all
Leave
right,
me
man.
alone.
Great day, great week. Yeah. Great show for Scare Network that we just did. I mean, man, all around just good things, man. Good vibes.
Nice.
Ah, yeah. Oh, what are you drinking tonight, Dave?
I have the Modelo Cheladas.
Oh, you're doing the chiladas again. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
doing the Cheladas again because I had those for Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Got to finish them before you get more.
So finishing those guys off. So I've got the Limoni Sal and I've got the Pina Picante, which is a pineapple one.
Ooh, that's
And then
interesting.
during our show for Scare Network TV, I had an orange one. It was a naranja.
That sounds interesting. I'm just
Dos
doing a little
Equis.
Dos Equis Especial. It's funny we're both drinking Mexican beer tonight.
Restless.
But man, yeah, great show on Scare Network. Great show for you guys here live tonight. We're talking cryptids again this week. I think we got 3 great cryptids.
Randy.
Well,
17.
It was definitely a great one on Scare Network. I'm interested to find out about these 3 that we're going to be talking about tonight on the live, because we've never talked about these 3 cryptids before until we started going into our research and on our pregame, deciding on what we wanted to do. So it's going to kind of be interesting to kind of see where these fall inside the scoring with the cryptids. One thing that me and Dave talked about on Scare Network is basically the Tournament of Champions for cryptids towards the end of the season. It's gonna be really interesting going throughout the year here to see which cryptids are going to score the highest to get them in there. And as I said on Scare Network, if you guys listen to these cryptids and you have a specific ranking that you would give them, please leave a comment on where you would rank these cryptids after hearing about them in the comment section, whether on YouTube or Facebook or whatever you're watching on. Speaking, Mallory, thanks for the like. Appreciate that. Speaking of Facebook and YouTube, let's get the fine print out the way, Dave.
Let's do it, bro.
So first, I want to thank Anchor. Anchor allows us to take the audio portion of this live broadcast, put out your favorite places like Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and of course, Amazon Music. Without Anchor, we wouldn't be able to broadcast those to your favorite sites. Anchor is a great place to start your podcasting career. Not only do they help you get your voice out there. They'll actually sponsor you, and as you begin to grow inside your podcast career, they'll actually find more sponsorships for you as you grow your fan base. So Anchor is not only a great place to start, but a great place to grow and continue growing. So thank you, Anchor, for that. I also want to thank StreamYard. StreamYard is what allows us to do the multicasting to your favorite places like YouTube, the Spirits of John and Dave, or your Facebook with Spirits of Spirits.
Don't come in.
With JD. I don't remember
Stop
JD
it,
on there, but
children.
Okay. And of course, Twitch, Spirits with Spirits. Yeah, and of course, gotta give a big shout out to Scare Network, and gotta say thank you to them for letting us be part of their family. Doing the exclusive on them has been amazing. I know we're only 7 episodes deep there, but I'm loving every minute for it. And thank you for Billy for giving us the chance to be part of that family. And man, speaking of Billy, that was an amazing time last week with him.
Yeah.
Not only the interview for the exclusive for Scared Network, but him joining us live for the live and kind of seeing how we do the scoring. Not only we scored the documentary, we scored the demon of the beast of Bladenboro as well. So it was it was definitely really fun and getting his input and on how we're doing things there. I love that. Yeah, man, love Scare Network. Man, they got tons of stuff, dude.
Crying.
I haven't ran out of stuff to watch yet.
Me neither.
Leave here.
Tons of stuff. I'm getting ready to start getting into the classic movies, though. I gotta watch that Black and White Night of the Living Dead, man. That's gonna be interesting. So, if you paid attention to the beginning of the show and you saw the intro there, we're gonna be talking about 3 specific cryptids tonight. We're gonna be talking about the how do you say that? Adlet?
Adlet. Yeah.
Adlet? Yeah. We're gonna be talking about the Adlet, the Keelut. Ooh, that looks nasty. Hey, there's my love. Oh, wait, I can't call her just my love. My fiance has said hello to us. The Keelut and
Keelut. That's that guy.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, I love the picture of this Keelut, but the one thing it's missing, Dave, is the hair on the ears and the feet.
Yeah.
And the tail. But I love the picture of that. Definitely looks like a
janitor,
a Hound of Hell type feature there. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about the Osark Howler. And that thing is just, how does it walk with those claws, bro?
I don't know, man.
You know, I always wondered why sloths move so slow, and looking at those
because
claws,
of
that. Definitely.
Turn it off.
Yeah.
Male.
Yeah. Male. Yeah. Male. I'm male. He's male. But yeah, a great show. Three unique cryptids we're gonna be talking about. I think if you didn't notice, there's kind of like a little theme going on tonight. With the cryptids that we're talking about. They kind of all have that wolf style theme to them, I guess is the best way to put it.
Call it canine features. They're kind of dog-like.
Yeah.
Cryptids. Yeah.
Kind of the theme for tonight is kind of canine-ish cryptids. Kind of had to after what we talked about on Scare Network to kind of keep the canine thing going. So not to give anything away, but it's probably not the canine cryptid you're thinking of. I'm just gonna say that. Just gonna say that. Not the canine cryptid you're thinking of.
But it's interesting that we're talking about these, and in particular the Adlet and the Keelut, because next week, we're going to Alaska.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about haunted locations in Alaska. And the thing about the Adlet and the Keelut is that they're native to Alaska and Greenland, but like right up in that area. So we try to keep with our theme, and when we do a cryptid, we try to at least pick one cryptid that's from the area that we're going to explore the following week. So,
Yeah.
keeping true to that form, we actually picked 2 because we couldn't decide which one we wanted. So,
Yeah.
we're like, you know what? Fuck it, let's do both.
Let's do both.
And then
I
we were
like
like,
both.
I like both too. Good legends, really good lore with them. I can't wait to score these bad boys.
How are you?
And then, and then you got the Osark Howler, which is that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and there's something on here that surprised me about the Osark Howler, and we're going to get into that when we talk about it.
Yep.
I'm not going to let the cat out the bag here, but
no
bag. So Adlet, Keelut, Osark Howler. So
Stroke.
I'm trying to figure out which one how I want to
Andrea. Find
order
me.
these. I think I want to go Alaska, not Alaska, and then back to Alaska is kind of how
That's
I
kind
want
of
to
what
do.
I was thinking too, but make the Osark Howler the meat in the sandwich.
Yeah. But
now.
I'm also trying to figure out, okay, if I do that, which Alaska one do I want to start with? And honestly, I think I want to start with the Adlet. I think that's where I want to start.
Down with that.
And I think the reason I wanted to start with that is because it doesn't just have ties to Alaska.
Amazing.
Correct.
Bribe.
Or am I thinking that with the Keelut? No, that's the Adlet. Hold on. Yeah, the Adlet. So it doesn't just
the Adlet. The Adlet also has ties to Greenland.
Yeah.
Seance.
And so it kind of branches out there a little bit and kind of goes away from Alaska, which I found was very interesting because when you read the lore for the Greenland, and the lore for Alaska from the Inuits,
what should I do?
Besides the birthplace of the
17.
Adlet, which the Greenland doesn't necessarily really go as far into, they're very similar to each other, which kind of corresponds with what happened and how they got there. So the big story of how the Adlet came to be is that a woman who refused to get married ended up marrying a dog. I guess that's the best way to put it. And ended up actually fornicating with the dog and having children. They actually end up moving to this island and ended up having children.
Who are they?
Now, these children that were born, they had half. I'm trying to figure. Okay, I have to call it a litter. How big was this litter? That's the thing.
Well, it was 10.
Fireplace.
It was 10.
It was 10.
But by half were dog.
Yeah.
And the other half were
half
the
dog.
Adlet. The Adlet, which was half dog, half human.
And interesting, not necessarily not werewolf, but
not
half
werewolf.
human,
Top half human, bottom half dog.
Yeah.
That would suck as a male Adlet and peeing in your face all the time.
It's interesting that that's where you'd go, bro. That's where you went with that.
That thought just hit my head. I was like, that would suck. Oh man, I peed on my hand again. Sorry. Sorry. So with the birth of the dogs, the I guess husband dog, I don't know why I put quotations. I don't know if she really did marry a dog. I'm not sure.
Heart attack.
Her father would actually bring sacks of food for him, and the husband dog would swim across the water from the island to the shore. They'd put the bag. He'd put the bag around his neck. The dog would swim back, and they would have food. And then one day, the father-in-law or father, however you want to call him, ended up, instead of putting food in the bag, ended up putting rocks in the bag and sinking the dog
Keep
to
recording.
the bottom of the river or whatnot, killing the father dog.
Tap. Where am I?
In which case, she was left raising him alone, to the point where these things got pretty much out of hand for her, to where she literally shipped them off. She like took half of them, like put them on a boat, and like boop, out to the ocean you go. And they end up not only surviving, but making it all the way to Greenland. That's a trek, bro. That's a trek. Yeah. Go from Alaska to Greenland. Like, if you looked at a map,
I see you.
That's hard.
Friend. Prison.
I mean, going through basically the waters of the Arctic all the way across Canada to Greenland. Because Greenland's not in between Alaska and Russia.
Where are you?
Greenland's over by ice.
Empty.
But the story of the Adlet also crosses the Bering Strait and into Russia. The Siberian indigenous there, called the Chukchi, they also have their own Adlet belief, or the girl that marries the dog. So it crosses over there into Asia too.
Really? See, I didn't see that. I got the whole Greenland stories. I didn't see the Russia and Asia stories.
Yeah, this came from
both
book.
sides.
Yeah, this book came from the book The Central Eskimo.
Where are we?
In 1888, which talks about the similar story, both about the Adlet and the woman who marries a dog, told on the Siberian side of the Bering Strait among the Chukchi tribe. So that's basically what the Inuit, which is the tribe of indigenous or Native Americans in Alaska, they crossed the Bering Strait into Russia and became that. So interesting. So it crossed both ways. So it went all the way over to Greenland and then went across the Bering Strait when it was ice, and then went into Russia. So with the Siberian indigenous there, they have their own, legend of that.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. I didn't read about the Russia correlation, that which would make more sense to me. That
that's so they also have the Deketh, formerly known as the Carrier tribe, have the legend of the dog husband in the indigenous people of British Columbia.
Yeah.
Also,
I
similar.
remember that was a red dog, right?
Yes, this is where woman suspects. But this one, the woman suspects that she's being violated by a dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she throws red paint on the violator.
Okay.
The next day, she identifies him as a big dog and later gives birth to 4 dogs. Yeah, she has puppies.
She has puppies. That's all I heard. She has puppies.
You help me. Demon.
So the legend, I mean, but there's another legend that was like, oh yeah, it's a big red dog. So that, the chick marries Clifford, has sex, makes some babies. But yeah, in British Columbia, I was raped by a dog and I painted it red. I threw red paint on it.
Yeah.
So it could be identified. And then
well, the Inuits, if I remember right, it was a white dog. A large white dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's another story with the big red dog. And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Clifford had sex with a human, awesome."
Clifford had some
Uh,
Clifford got some yum yum.
Purgatory.
uh,
Don't. Do you want to play?
always wanna play. Uh,
How does it work?
it's kinda interesting, it's almost like playing the telephone game on how those lore kinda goes and how the story changes just a little bit. Not enough to say that it doesn't match up with the
Hospital.
original legend or lore, but enough to
Yeah.
make it a little bit different from the area that it's in,
Right.
like playing the telephone game.
Exactly. Like, oh no, yeah. It's wrong to think that a woman would fall in love
Rape.
with a dog and marry it. So we're gonna have sex and just violate the woman instead.
Prison.
Which I find interesting because if you can
So
believe in werewolves, you can believe that that happened to a few.
right?
But that's another thing about the story is
Where are
when
you?
people research the story, they stated that it's very possible it wasn't a dog that she had sex with, that it could very
Judge.
well possibly been a
Complete.
werewolf or even the Wendigo that she had
Yeah.
sex with.
Metal.
Which leads me to the next part. The children that she did keep had an
Angel.
insatiable thirst and cannibalistic
17.
instinct, which does correspond a lot with the Wendigo.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting in that fact that it very well could have been a Wendigo that she ended up having
Old.
sex with, and not just some random dog that she really liked.
Mm.
So I don't know which one is more feasible to me, that she had sex with a Wendigo, which
Do.
it
Count.
would explain the cannibalistic
Slam.
instincts that these Adlet
Change.
had
Right.
or
Right.
have, or if
What should I
she had
do?
sex with the dogs, and for the fact that they're half human, half dog, made them cannibalistic. It's crazy how they became cannibalistic. I mean, what created that cannibalistic instinct? I think that's kind of what I'm getting at. Because these are very much cannibalistic creatures. Like, and the reason I say
Fire.
cannibalistic
Okay.
because they eat humans.
I was gonna say by cannibalistic, do you mean they eat dogs or they eat humans? Because
I think they'd
if
eat
you
anything.
if you know from
Leave me alone.
just from what we know about dogs,
Yeah.
if dogs get the taste for human, they like it.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yes.
why with multiple bites to a
Kilo.
human, the dog has to be put down
Yes.
because the dog will eventually just keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I think that's part of it. I think it's like, human meat tastes good. So I don't necessarily think that's a can. If they're is that cannibalism because they're dogs,
Gun.
but
On the
they're also
bottom,
human.
but they're
They're
also
dogs on
human.
the bottom and human on the top, but they're half and half. They're hybrids. I mean, I guess it's still cannibalism, but
Cell.
going by the dog mentality, if they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, human meat tastes good," it's not cannibalism if a dog eats a human, but it is cannibalism if an adlet eats a human, or is it cannibalism if a werewolf eats a human?
See, that's
Now
another thing I thought
I'm going
about
off
too.
on a tangent. We're kind of, how do we view that? And when a werewolf eats a human being, and that's basically, and these guys don't transform into werewolves; they're legitimately part dog, part human. Um,
Is it considered cannibalism for a
Over
supernatural
here.
creature?
yeah,
Because are they their own race? Therefore, it's not considered cannibalism.
that's what I'm thinking. I think they're their own race. They're not necessarily dogs, and they're not necessarily
Yeah,
human anymore.
Flesh.
same thing with werewolf.
Yeah.
They're not dog nor human. They're
The
both.
only thing is a werewolf transforms from human form to
Yeah.
dog form.
Yeah,
Tunnel.
these things don't transform.
Just
They're
don't
always
transform.
half human,
They're
half
like
dog.
us. Yeah. So that's like,
Because when I first started
Niece.
doing the research on this, and I think I even said it
Why are
in
you
our
here?
pregame, is this possibly the birth of the werewolf? But when I started doing more research, this is not the birth of the werewolf. This is totally something different than the actual
right.
werewolf. the werewolf has is lycanthropy. These are not
What is
lycanthropes at
happening?
all. These are always, all the time, half dog, half human. What if a werewolf and an adlet had a kid, though? I know I'm playing some
I
Liar.
what
don't know.
ifs, but
I think it just becomes
Night.
a werewolf, but it's kind of like, a vampire having a kid would, even though they're not necessarily supposed to have children, but
yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
so I'm looking at the story of the girl, and I'm not even saying what they called it, the she who wouldn't take a husband.
Yeah, she who wouldn't take a husband. Yeah.
She marries a dog with
Yeah.
white with which is white with red spots. That's the Inuit legend.
Yes. White with red
Of the
spots.
10
Thank you.
children, 5 are dogs, and the others are Adlet with
Place.
dog bodies for their lower half and men's bodies for the upper half. Um, so the children are very hungry. It falls to the father to provide for the noisy household. At last, he puts them in a boat, carries them off to a small island, telling them
Regret. Stay.
to go and get meat daily.
Yeah.
Um, so it says, but the father, instead of giving them meat, puts stones in the boots and then drowns them.
Radio.
In revenge, the girl sends the young dogs over to gnaw off the father's feet and hands.
Yeah.
He, in return, kicks her overboard when she
Steady.
happens to be in the boat, and she's hanging on the boat, and he cuts her fingers off.
Yeah.
And when they fall into the ocean, they turn into whales and seals. That's how the legend goes.
Her
So
fingers became whales and seals.
it says cut off her fingers, which when they fell into the ocean turn into whales and seals.
Her thumbs
I'm
still
going.
Since the girl is scared her father might kill the Adlet, she sends
Where is
them
it?
inland, and from them a
Line.
numerous people springs. The young dogs she sends across the ocean in a makeshift boat, and arriving beyond the sea, they
Pocket.
become the Scandinavian ancestors.
Okay, so she sent the dogs across into Scandinavia,
thanks.
but the actual Adlets themselves stayed here in
Yeah, they
Alaska.
stayed inland. Yeah.
So the half
Lost.
dog, half man stayed in Alaska, stayed inland, but the
Yeah.
all dog ones ended up going to evidently Russia and Scandinavia.
Yeah.
Boat.
By boat.
By boat.
Yeah, that's fine.
But then they ended up creating more Adlets because those
Oh,
were
yeah.
considered Adlets because they're full dog.
Yeah, but they probably had the gene in them. It's just like,
Yeah. So when they
my
reproduced,
my
they
daughter,
created more.
yeah, my daughter had brown eyes, but my granddaughter has blue eyes
Yeah, she
because of
got
me.
your gene.
Got
Yeah.
my blue eyes. So, yeah. So interesting though. So they going to the anthropological interpretation
Again.
of the Adlet. The dogs are sent overseas and will return as white Scandinavians to bring things favorable to the Inuit, whereas the Adlet, called swift runners of an aggressive disposition,
17.
Yeah.
become a kind of inland spirit to be kept at bay.
Empty.
Yeah, dude, these things are bloodthirsty.
Tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah, these
What
things
brought
are,
you here?
yeah, they're vicious. Well, you said cannibalistic, but yeah, they're nasty.
Did they wander
Um,
the tundra in packs? So they're a pack animal still.
Yes. These are not individual. They run together.
Yeah.
So, okay, so there's what's called a cargo cult, which is an indigenous millenarian belief system in which adherents perform rituals which they believe will cause more technologically advanced societies
Ritual.
to deliver goods. So it's basically like, bring me food.
Yeah.
So this myth
Australia.
by this cargo
Sandra.
cult basically says by offering sexual favors to the dog-like whites, aka the Nords, the Scandinavians, the
Yeah.
Inuit daughters serve as mediators in obtaining their desirable goods. So it's like they gave it up. They gave them yum yum, and in exchange, the Scandinavians would bring them stuff.
So they're whores, Dave.
Coming to get me.
They're coming to get me. They're whores. I'm just like, wow, this is a crazy legend. This is
Yeah.
like the soap opera of the of the indigenous stories. That's what it's. You got the evil half dog, half man that just ferocious and eats everything, and then you've got the
More.
the
Criminal.
dogs that they send to Scandinavia and become Vikings. Essentially, they come back
Yeah.
as Vikings and has sex with the Inuit
And
in exchange for stuff. So
niece.
weird.
Yeah. That's
How many?
I don't know how many. Looks a
that's
lot.
Days of Our Lives type shit.
Don't leave.
How did they become dogs to
Film.
How did they become Scandinavians? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
said they were sent away as dogs and they came back as Scandinavians, as Nords. In other words, Vikings.
Above.
That's weird.
That is weird. I mean,
Weird, bro.
that's
Weird.
I would have figured.
Grandmother.
I mean, they wouldn't come back human at all.
No.
Best case scenario, they come back as adlets with the half dog, half human body, with them being full dog.
Uh-huh.
But they in Greenland they have the story of the adlets too, where they are half dog, half human.
Closer.
In Greenland.
How do you feel?
Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, so
Haunted.
this is another place here. According to
Barbara. Scratch.
this is the one where the Adlet is a bloodthirsty race of canine hominids said to be the offspring of an Inuit woman and an unnatural mating with a ferocious giant red dog. Woman became pregnant with the creature's offspring and later gave birth to 10 fur-covered canine-like children. This isn't 5 and 5. This is 10.
Yeah.
According to the legend, the terrified Inuit woman sent 5 of these children across the sea, where they sired in what the Inuit referred to as the white races. So they didn't change. They went in and had sex with their own people, and they basically like merged with the Scandinavian race.
Wow.
The remaining 5 children were said to have remained close to the woman's home, where they slowly developed into vicious cannibalistic warriors.
Yeah. Which are considered supernaturally strong with acute senses and with the ability to actually see in the dark. And known for having conflicts. Like they're known for fighting.
Yeah,
And
they actually they fight humans. They're in combat with humans all the time.
all the time.
They go on big fights.
Like to the point where they
Cemetery.
seek out Inuit villages to feed.
Yeah.
I thought, man. But okay, so with that story though, they're not half dog, half human, so they're not Dog on the bottom,
Happy.
human on the top.
I don't know.
They're human with dog-like features,
Dangerous.
covered in
Yeah.
fur.
They're fur-covered canine-like children. So these were like, this leads to me to think werewolf.
Yeah, yeah. But they don't have that ability to turn.
No.
But they are hairy, bipedal, maybe fanged.
With canine features.
Yeah. Fanged, maybe some pointy ears.
Yeah.
Unless that dog had floppy ears, which would be really funny. Arr, but you got so floppy ears. I said, but I want to play with them. Okay, pointy ears.
Rituals.
Yeah, that's a good picture.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I like that picture. That's kind of a good picture of what you're just describing.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to feed 10 fucking children that way, though.
Yeah. Right? You only got 2 boobies.
Yeah.
All right, you're gonna have to wait your turn. Some of you are missing a meal. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen.
Half you get breakfast, the other half get dinner.
and then there's pictures like this.
Well, I can see that picture depicted from the last picture you just shared because that's basically an adult. He still very much has human features, but he definitely still very much has canine features.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't categorize that as werewolf, I don't think. That's just an adlet.
No, it's definitely not top half human, bottom half wolf or bottom half dog.
Which is the whole other.
It's half and half. Yeah, it's just basically,
Florence.
and then that's another one I found. Unfortunately, there's no. I couldn't find any. There's no documented pictures.
No, I couldn't find any documented pictures either, or else I would have shared those with you.
Right.
But
closer.
It's interesting that how strong these things are.
Up.
Like, where does that supernatural strength come from?
Up.
I don't think it comes
Yeah,
from
again, I'm thinking it's very much werewolf.
In that case, would this be considered the birth of the werewolf?
Yeah. That's what the site talking about. It says, although the legend of the Adlet is surely based primarily in mythology, some researchers have linked this tale to European legends of the werewolf.
And even if it wasn't a werewolf, I can see how it could be confused with being
mistaken,
a werewolf.
For sure.
But unlike the werewolf, there's no lycanthropy here. There's no turning into something else. This is just
there's no moon. It's just it.
So I can understand if you saw like that second picture you posted, if you saw something like that, your first thought would probably be, this is a freaking fucking werewolf. But it's not. This is not a curse of lycanthropy. This is an adlet. It does not have the ability to change back. It doesn't have the ability to change form. It's
stuck in the form that it's in.
Yeah. It'd be really weird.
What happened?
To see something
blessed
that was half dog on the bottom and half human on the top.
Leave.
And if that's the case,
below,
do you think they would be able to hide themselves in society?
Dangerous.
I don't think so. I mean, if they're bottom half dog and top half absolutely human, yeah, I think they could hide.
Nice.
You think they could walk around the city?
I think they could.
Without creating
with the right pants on.
Some MC Hammer pants?
Yeah, put some parachute pants on them. They'd be too legit to quit.
Chased.
Or, I mean, even regular
Not.
pants, but do you think they would disguise themselves as a cripple? So they
I
can
don't know.
kinda
It'd be kind of like,
how because you gotta think how they're walking. Their knees are on the wrong side, man.
yeah.
So would you
I'm wondering if they would, if they're
Undecided.
unnaturally aggressive toward humans.
like, say there was an adlet that didn't have its pack, and so it had to survive some other way. And so it's gonna try and survive in society.
Yeah. I think well that'd be a good way to go as a handicapped person
Yeah, because then you can
because
use those little
Lady.
arm
as a
things.
general rule,
What do I do?
and I hate
Hospital.
to say it, but handicapped people are generally not looked at. Not,
No,
you know,
no, they're very
they
much ignored.
they're very yeah, they're
Brandon.
And
very much ignored.
and I hate to say this, it very purposefully most of the time ignored.
Yeah.
Not.
uh and I think because of that, they probably could, like, if you had a solo adlet that lost its pack or something for some odd reason, could disguise itself as someone handicapped
Murdered.
in
Torturer.
society.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't think you'd ever go see a doctor and get a clinical
Yeah.
assessment, but no one's going to ask you when you're walking in with those little hand cane things and you're dragging your legs behind you because, well, you can't show that your knees are on the wrong side.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that till just now, that when we were talking.
Tap.
But at the same time, do you think they'd be able to
Hello.
control that bloodthirst in a society?
And by the way that they talk about it, I don't think so.
It doesn't seem like it. It seems like
I mean,
almost like
they're
when you talk
vicious,
about vampires or
cannibalistic
something.
warriors. I mean, okay, Army Hammer, maybe. I don't know.
Convicted.
Could he be an
Yeah.
Adlet?
Yeah.
Because he looks Scandinavian, and
Yeah.
he's a big dude,
Yeah.
and at least the top half is human.
Yeah. Huh. That's interesting
Leave.
too.
I
And
mean,
they do say that the adlets are taller than actual humans.
yes, sometimes
Don't.
up to 8 feet is what
Yeah.
I read, up to 8 feet tall. Similar again to werewolves
Yeah.
Sin.
Yeah.
Humiliate.
or Bigfoot,
Oh, Bigfoot.
if you want to talk about that too.
How are you?
That's that's
They
Another
also
room.
another thing is they also say that, I mean, they're extremely difficult to kill, but they also say silver, fire, and decapitation are
our
the main
ways to
things.
kill 'em.
And
Yeah.
again, that screams werewolf or
That screams
house
werewolf.
werewolf.
Yeah. House werewolf. Do you
Lost.
okay, so do you think
Hand.
these are hey, Turn fan, what's going on? Do you think these are werewolves
Brother.
or related to werewolves or even possibly the creation of the werewolf?
I think it's very possible that the Adlet started the werewolf, because they're talking about how they went, how they went across the Arctic and then went across the Atlantic Ocean
Yeah.
and went into Europe. Not
Yeah.
necessarily Scandinavia, but they could have easily went over Europe, and they could be what we talk about now as werewolves.
Yeah, and this time frame is right pretty much right
Early.
after
Uncle.
the Bering Strait ice bridge had finally gone away.
Right.
Female.
So it's in that timeline. So, I mean,
Could have went
that's
the other way
super
too.
long. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's super long ago.
Yeah. I this legend goes way back. I mean, the first recorded thing was in the 1800s where somebody actually wrote this shit down. But this legend goes way back.
Yeah.
So could it have started the werewolf? Could this be the race that created the werewolf?
That's interesting.
I'm interested. Yeah, that'd be
a phenomenal find if this was the case.
Yeah. So it says Adlets who left their homeland travel across the ocean and, according to legend, became the ancestors of the European races. And I'm thinking that means werewolves and whatnot.
Why?
Those who remained are said to have become cannibalistic warriors and blood drinkers, described as covered with red fur, sharp claws, a pronounced snout, and yellow eyes.
Night.
Again, that screams werewolf to me there too.
Yeah.
Peace.
That's interesting.
But that's not top half human, bottom half wolf. That's werewolf. That's, but a werewolf that can't change. That's like a permanent, stuck with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't have that lycanthropy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. How many? And again, how many do you think these
I don't know.
Died?
But they talk about the Adlet and their offspring, also called the Adlet, now wander the tundra in packs, seeking out Inuit villages to feed on.
Yeah.
So I think for that reason alone, because they're up in the tundra, or in Siberia or whatever, nobody goes up there. That's like Antarctica.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing that's up there is indigenous, and there's no Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi.
Third.
No Wi-Fi. They are not watching the
show. They are not watching the show. I'm sorry, Inuit people. But yeah, I think there's there's an island that is said to be still in the Stone Age, right? The native people, the indigenous people of this island, and they refuse to let anybody step foot on the island. Anybody that does, they kill.
Oh, wow.
So they refuse help. They don't want to talk to anybody. They don't want anybody. No modern stuff comes onto that island at all. There was and that's what I'm thinking is what we're dealing with the Adlet. I think they're isolated up there in the Arctic.
Yeah.
And they go and find a village and they feed. And then people, anybody goes to that village, they're like, oh, the village is wiped out. Oh, well, they must have got attacked by a polar bear, or they left the village, or whatever. They did a Roanoke,
yeah. Oh, Roanoke.
16.
Yeah. I remember we talked about that.
Beverly.
But we also talked about the werewolf.
Yeah.
And lycanthropy in general. And yeah, while I think these are werewolves, and this is probably how the race got started. These aren't lycanthropes. There's no transformation.
But you think that their gene could have actually created the werewolf?
That's interesting. And I think it's possible. Like, what if their
mutation,
gene, what they did, became some kind of virus?
Yeah.
And so they bit someone, but they're cannibalistic, so they kill them. But what if they didn't kill someone? What if they just bit them? Yeah. Where they would have that virus and they would kind of transform. I think they could have all started that whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, literally, the Adlet could literally be the birth of the werewolf.
Yep.
That's interesting. You want to score it?
Evil.
Evil. Let's score it.
Evil, yeah. All right. Well, the first thing we got to go with is size here. And being that they're classified 8 to 10 feet, Is that what we're
Tap.
talking about?
Megan.
I got like 8, up to 8 feet was what I was
8
getting.
up to 8 feet? But even that,
Yeah,
even up to 8 feet, that that's pretty decent size.
pretty
I'd
decent
I'd
size.
probably I'd probably put that at a 7.
Yep.
Crying. Where am I? Lower.
And they're pretty fast.
Yeah, yeah, they're pretty fast. Not I kinda
Not
have to kinda give bonuses to their to speed due to their supernaturally being
their,
strong.
the strength and stuff. Yeah, I think
Third.
they're a little bit faster than the average dog.
Dig.
Yeah, and I think we put the average dog, and I remember talking about cryptids before with the average dog, and you put that at an 8 because you ain't outrunning a dog is what you told me.
Real.
You ain't outrunning a werewolf, that's for damn sure.
Yeah,
Now,
but
I'm going back to the chupacabra, and the chupacabra we gave a 7.
that's the one I was talking about, is
Yeah.
the chupacabra, and you're like, "It has the speed of a dog," and I was like, "I can outrun a dog." You're like, "You can't outrun a dog," and I was like, "You're right, I'm not outrunning
Yeah.
my husky or my German
I can
Shepherd."
outrun Romeo, but his legs are like that long.
Yeah,
So I know, and his balls are that long. But
yeah,
I
so
can't.
is 8 too high, though?
I think 8's too high. I think 7's good.
You still think 7 is the
I
way to
think
go here?
I still think 7's the way to go.
Man, I think these are faster than chupacabra, though. I don't know,
Trash.
maybe. Maybe not. Maybe that's
They might
trash.
they're definitely vicious, but I don't know if I put
Probably
them at an 8
strong.
speed
Yeah, an
because,
8 doesn't feel so
considering
high.
okay, so the one we did on Scare Network TV, we gave an 8,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't think it's that fast.
It's not that fast. You are correct.
Did.
And I said, like, that's what I was saying. 8 feels too high.
Yeah.
It almost feels like we
Higher.
gave the chupacabra too high of a score on speed.
Not.
It was the first one we did.
Yeah, it really was. So I'm
But
gonna go
we still
7.
didn't give it a good score. Yeah, I'm going 7.
So I think this part right here kind of
This one
hurts.
hurts.
Is the next carrier being
There's
evidence?
Yeah, there's stories.
Little to no evidence. There's some
Yeah,
stories.
there's
There's some
stories, but
lore.
there's no pictures.
No.
Yeah, nobody's lived that's come across them. Let's put it that
Yeah,
way.
exactly.
So yeah, so with the story, I can't go higher than a 3.
I
I
was
think
thinking 2.
yeah,
You like 2?
I like 2. But aggressiveness, 10.
10. Yeah, these things are bloodthirsty,
These are
cannibalistic.
bloodthirsty,
Eat you.
cannibalistic, they're nasty.
Yeah. Lore. I love the lore on this
Over
stuff.
here.
I love the
Yeah,
stories. I love the
yeah,
legends.
yeah.
I love it
It's a
dating back.
crazy story. The
Yeah.
whole thing with 10
Go
babies
away.
and the
And
5 that got sent away and came back and as Scandinavians and
yeah, and like
just
I said, I like the consistency of the base of the story. I mean, yeah, there's some minor details for certain things,
yeah,
but
was she
other than
raped? Did
that,
she marry him? Whatever. But anyway, there's half dog, half human babies happen.
yeah. Um, but yeah, the consistency
Boring.
of what was birthed here is kind of all the same. I like that part of the lore.
Ant.
Am I a 10th the lore? I'm
Poison.
not a 10th the lore. I'm not a 10. I was thinking more of a 7 on the lore
I
is
was
kind of
gonna
where
go 8.
you were gonna go 8. Well,
Yeah, I
okay,
was
you
gonna
gave it
go
a
8
little
on the lore.
extra than you gave it a little extra than I did. So I think I'm pretty solid 7. So I think we're a 7.5 here.
Let's do 7.5. I'm down for that.
Manifestation again. I think this is something that
And well, this is where okay, they're there, but there's not.
Murdered.
I mean, the supernatural, the strength and whatnot. They
No
don't really
thanks.
manifest anything else other than them.
yeah.
And I think No, the fact that they, if we believe that they're the basis for the werewolves, that they're the start of the werewolf, I've got to consider that
Punished.
because they manifested a whole race.
Okay, all right. I'm picking up what you're putting down there. Again, I don't think I'm still super high on manifestation.
I don't think no, I'm not high, but I'm thinking 4,
Five,
maybe 5.
six.
Where is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Battle.
four, maybe five.
I'm thinking 5. Yeah. If you're 5 or 6, I'm 4 or 5, let's go 5.
Let's go five. Battle, yeah, they like to battle.
They do
The
like to battle.
audio
They
here.
are fighters.
This is
Again,
one thing they don't talk about too
Asshole.
much.
Father.
no. No
32.
no hearing of,
No,
sounds
this
they
is
make, or they seem to be really quiet. They just come up and they kill you and they eat you. That's
yeah, they're predatorial. They're not going to let you know that they're there. I think the audio's low here. I think I have to kind of go with the evidence score here for the audio and give it a 2,
Yep.
and that's based off of the potential of the audio.
Yep. I agree with that.
Feels very big belief system with Inuit people with Adlet. I think the
Yeah.
feels here is actually pretty decent. I think they do have a genuine fear. I think they do believe that they still raid their villages and hunt.
Yeah.
I think there's a genuine fear of the Adlet here. I think there's and if this is the birth of the werewolf, I think I'd have to give more points to feels in that category as well.
Yep.
Um,
I definitely got a bonus coming for that.
so I like the feels here. I
Yeah.
like
I like
I'm
yeah.
I don't know if I'm a 7 or if I'm an 8 on the feels.
I was
I'm
going
not
8.
You're going it. So I'm definitely not a 9 or a 10. I can't go that high there.
Yeah.
You were thinking 8, and I was
Yeah.
7 or an 8. And if you're thinking 8, then I'd go up to 8. I wasn't a maybe 8. I was or an 8.
Or an 8. Yeah. Um Objects.
This is a hard one for this one.
I don't know how to score this
Nothing
because okay, they
mechanical.
they took a boat
They did take a boat
across the Atlantic Ocean,
at the Bering Strait.
basically invaded Europe
Yeah,
and
Fly.
and Asia.
Asia. They went across the Bering Strait. They split up the whole um marriage and the birth and the father and the food, that whole legend, that whole story.
Yeah.
Um guess wait, I'm not high here.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
And
I'm below 5.
I don't think yeah, I think I'm gonna go 4. I'm liking
Fly.
what I see, but there's not a
Where are we?
whole lot.
I think 4 is generous. I'm not saying I
Yeah.
don't like it. I think it's a generous score, but I can't disagree with it, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay. Well, if you go 3, then we'll get 3 by 3.5 if you want to do that. And then we have a round number.
Then we got a
Okay.
round number. Okay.
You want
Let's
to do
go
that?
3. Yeah, let's go 3.5.
Okay. Um I think the danger level's a 10. I think they're vicious, they're cannibalistic, they're dangerous, and then
Pack
the
animals.
ones that got sent to Scandinavia and came back, they're like, have sex with me and we'll give you food. So
Yeah.
they're rapists.
Where are we?
Yeah, they're rapists.
They're
Or
rapists. So you got cannibalism and you got rape.
Yeah.
Grandfather.
And
I'm pretty sure they're dangerous.
yeah.
Especially when
I agree with it.
these things just go looking for Inuit villages and then wipe the village out.
And if they did create a whole new race in the werewolf based off of what we're talking
You
about,
got to
I
give
think
account to what
that
they did.
is yeah,
Yeah.
and the legend and the lore of the werewolf itself. So I yeah, I have to agree. I think I'm at a 10 on the danger level here. I think these are very dangerous. I don't think if you survive if you run into one.
Mother.
Okay.
Scratch.
62?
Yep, I got 64.
14,
33,
16,
Ford.
26, 33, 38,
No, I
40,
think that's my fault.
48. It wasn't me? Yeah.
Camera.
No,
62.
did I do that? 14, yeah, 16. Because I think, yeah, because I had
7, 7, 2, 10,
I
7.5.
figured 4 for evidence instead of 2, so that's mine. So yeah, it's 62.
Bloody.
Okay. I thought we agreed on
Listen.
2.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we
I just I was looking at the 4 I gave for objects and wrote that down for evidence and was counting that.
Oh, oops.
Where?
That's my fault.
So 62, honestly, that is actually a better score than I thought this was going to get.
Camera.
I thought we were going to be more chupacabra in the 50s. Because of the objects, the evidence, the manifestations.
Yeah, I think really the aggression and the danger level is what
Change.
Yeah.
was what was nasty about this thing.
And after
Because
talking about it
the
and the
chupacabra
fears,
wasn't that aggressive to humans or dangerous
no.
because it mainly focused on livestock. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what set the chupacabra back.
Yeah. But I think the feels, and after discussing the Adlet, I think my feels kept getting bigger.
Yeah.
Too. So I liked it. I like the Adlet. I think again, decent score for the Adlet.
Which? Show yourself.
But with that said,
Not.
hey Tiff, how's it going?
Worship.
All right. So with that said, let's take a quick break.
Robert.
And we're gonna come back. We'll talk about the Osark Howler.
Heather.
And see if that can beat out the Adlet. That's gonna be interesting. Interesting. So, what do we want to listen to, Riff? What do we want to hear tonight?
Fly.
What song is this?
Morning.
There we go. Dave, what are you looking at?
I am looking at my stuff on the Ozark Howler. Put it up.
Oh. All right, guys, give us about 5-10 minutes. We're gonna get rid of that beer we drank and get some more beer, and we'll be right back. Enjoy the creepy music while we're gone.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm back. John's on his way. He should be back in just a minute. So, while I have you here, if you guys haven't already, please, please, please check out Scare Network TV. If you go to scarenetwork.tv, it's $5 a month for the subscription or $40 for the year, which will save you $20. And they have all sorts of content, and it is continually growing. So all sorts of horror movies, paranormal shows, podcasts like yours truly. So definitely go and check that out. It's pretty awesome.
Did you get rid of the music? What?
Oops. Yes, I got rid of music.
I can see you talking about what?
I was still muted.
That's hilarious. Oh, yeah. Which is funny because when I walked in, it looked like you were still dancing, but there's no.
I was, but there was no music.
Just the music in your lovely brain. All right, so we just got talking
I don't know about
about
lovely, but definitely in my brain.
definitely interesting. We just got to talk about the Adlet. Good score, honestly. Like I said, I thought that would score lower, and it didn't, and I'm pretty happy about that. Now we're gonna head over to, I guess, Southern America. Not to be confused with South America.
Right.
Southern United States.
The southern, southern United States. So this Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and extreme southeastern corner of Kansas is where this is reported.
Right next door to where I live.
Also known as the Ozarks.
Oh yeah, the Osark Howler is what we're going to be talking about. And again, right next door to where I live. So, which is kind of interesting that it's right there in Oklahoma, right there in southeast corner of Kansas, and I'm literally 3 hours away from both of that. So, the Ozark Howler actually dates back. I think the first story, honestly, dates back to the 1800s of the Osark Howler. And I'm gonna talk about that here in a minute. But this is very canine like and bear like type creature. Dark gray in color most of the time. It's considered with a shaggy coat. There've been talk of it maybe saber tooth teeth type quality with the fangs.
Yeah.
Glowing
So-
red eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, what I have bear-sized, thick body, stocky legs, black shaggy hair, glowing red eyes, and prominent horns. Its cry is often described as being a combination of a wolf's howl, an elk's bugle, and the
What should
laugh
I
of a
do?
hyena.
33.
I'm trying to imagine how that would
Karen.
sound.
Blessed. Trash.
I know.
Can you imagine what that sounds like in your
Sandra.
head?
Yes. And then when I go and try to create it, I'm like, no, there's no way I would do that. That's I haven't had enough to drink to try to create that sound.
Oh,
I can picture it in my head. It's okay. I'm gonna try it.
Hold on. I gotta put my beer down so I don't spit it out my nose. Go ahead, Dan. Let's hear
Kayla.
It was.
How do I use it?
See, I don't know what an elk's bugle sounds like. I'm thinking that's more of a like a right. So I'm thinking a bugle. So it's so
an elk's bugle is more a
like a okay. So okay. So then
Listen.
because the hyena is like
and they got
like a really like a nasty high pitched coyote.
Some kind of do this like
big.
It's kind of a weird sound. I can't do it. I can't do it. But
Can you hear me?
I can't.
It wasn't even close to where I was gonna go.
Worship.
I'm trying to figure how do you put that and the hyena with the wolf's howl?
Well, the wolf's howl is like you want to go.
How does it work?
How'd that go, Dave? He said, oh my Lord. Oh.
Yeah, that might make our top moment show.
He said,
Tunnel.
I gotta put that on the back of the shirt, just going.
Oh shit.
Oh yes. Oh, you heard it here, folks. That is the bark. That's the Osark
Howler. That's the Osark Howler.
Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. Oh. Oh.
Oh man.
Oh, that was good.
Brian, I can't see.
I don't hear the wolf in there, Dave.
Oh.
How many? Not.
Oh, my stomach's hurting.
Never.
Oh.
Brave.
He said,
Right, I've got tears and snot, and I was like, oh my god, I'm laughing so hard.
Again, I can't imagine how that sounds like
I
that.
can't imagine how that. I'm out, bro. I can't imagine that sound. Yes,
Oh,
I'm not gonna
Lord.
let that.
Oh, man.
No, that's not okay to say that.
Coughing.
Yes, I'm coughing.
Oh.
All right. Good show, bro.
Final thoughts. Yeah, stop. I go, whoo. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So cryptozoologists have speculated that the creature might be a misidentified or unrecognized big cat. Anthropologists and folklorists have speculated that the creature might be branching off the black dog of death found in British folklore,
Yeah.
such
Okay.
as the
Yeah.
church grim, black shuck, or the guy trash. Many versions of the hellhound is basically what they're talking the Osark Howler as some type of hellhound.
Stop recording.
Mainly because of the red glowing eyes.
Yeah, similar qualities to the hellhound. Trying, Dave.
Me too. I'm trying to. But basically, it's let's see. The Ozark Howler is also, like these legendary beasts, has been described as a dark omen, predicting the death of those who see it.
Yeah, it's not a harbinger of death, but
like if you see it, you're gonna die. I mean, yeah, kind of like Black Dog.
Yeah. I thought it interesting also that they're actually considered migratory.
Torturer.
But at certain parts of the year, they become territorial, which for me, thinking that's breeding time.
Grace.
I don't know how you feel about that, but that's kind of where I was thinking when it became territorial. It was more of a breeding time.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't want nobody.
Bathroom.
Well, that makes sense because it's like, no, I'm protecting my house now because I got babies.
Yeah. And they're talking about how they would find for when it was that time of year, when they became territorial, they would actually see scratch marks in trees, but higher up than what you would see a bear's scratch marks.
Yes. Yeah.
And not just scratch marks with claws, though. Scratch marks from teeth.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's something bears don't do.
Kitchen.
Bears do tree scratch, but they don't bite the tree.
Yeah, because the bears are sharpening their claws on the tree, but they're not biting into the thing.
Talk with me.
No, they're not. You know.
Stop it.
I'm trying. I can't.
This is telling you to stop it, bro.
Oh, I'll be doing that the rest of the night.
Mine's gotten eerily quiet.
It's like, I have no affiliation with this man over here.
Know who this guy is.
Oh, Lord.
Pleasure. False.
So dating back all the way to the 1800s, and I thought this story was kind of interesting because the story was that actual Daniel Boone shot at
Healthy.
an Osark Howler.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it doesn't say whether or not he hit it or killed it or had a trophy from it, but that he did shoot at an Osark Howler, but all the way back into the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was quite interesting. I was like, wow, Daniel Boone just be shooting at big ass scary things that could eat you. Okay.
Keep recording.
And then died at the Alamo.
Where?
At the Alamo. We did that one too.
Undecided.
We did do that one too. I thought that was interesting that that's never a story I've ever heard about Daniel Boone.
Yeah, that's not a story I've heard about Daniel Boone either. But yeah, I read it in the research and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. And the fact that it dates all the way back to the 1800s is interesting as well.
Yeah. That leads into some of the lore. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Behind you.
I don't see nothing behind me, Dave.
No, I don't see anything behind you either. You didn't get smacked in your head, did you?
No, I haven't got hit yet.
Okay.
It's been a while.
No thanks.
Yeah, see,
no thanks.
Doesn't want to hit me.
What happened to me?
I'm not going to get over the combination of a wolf's howl, elk's bugle. I'm not going to ask you to try to do it again. And the laugh, hyena. I'm trying to imagine all three of those things happening at the same time. And let me tell you, Dave, what I hear in my head sounds nothing like
another one I did. Well, that's because I didn't know what an elk's bugle was. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, I've never heard an elk before.
Oh, hold on. This is the good thing about having my phone hooked up.
That kind of sounded like me. Yeah, that was like me, wasn't it? Hold on. Come on.
Johnny.
See?
Bless.
You're not that far off, bro.
These guys are built to eat
it was the people standing outside the fence of the hyenas. and then you have to hold on. Discover.
Okay, that's the wolf's howl.
So now you've heard all three separately. Do you want to go for round two?
It's probably going to still end up.
Always.
Like a. Ah,
Asylum. No
yes.
regrets.
No regrets, Dave. No regrets.
No regrets.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Interesting enough, I didn't read on anything where the Ozark Howler attacked anything.
Brandy.
No, it's mainly
Demon.
okay. That's an interesting
Green.
because they talk about it as being demonic like. But I think it's more of a,
Attic.
more of a spirit, but not aggressive, but unless it's defending its territory. Because you're talking about how it migrates and stuff.
Yeah. So you would put this
Karma.
outside? You'd put this in the spiritual part of a cryptid?
Possibly like a hellhound type thing. I think I'm leaning towards that a little bit.
Hellhounds are fucking vicious though, bro.
Yeah, but this is kind of
It's
like
very docile, it feels like.
not a harbinger of death, but like it's just like, death is coming for you. Like the black dog. That's what
Yeah.
it's reminding me
Yeah,
of.
yeah. The banshee.
Love.
Yeah, that's another good example.
Yeah. Several I like this though, several times larger than a mountain lion.
Yeah.
Pamela.
So that I mean that several times larger than a mountain lion. I think that would probably put it bigger than a bear.
Yeah, I think it's bigger than a bear.
And based off of the teeth marks and claw marks that they found during its, I'm gonna say mating season. I'm just gonna say it how I think it is. I
None.
would consider it pretty much larger than a bear as well.
Yeah. Especially if teeth marks that high up in the tree. Yeah.
Yeah. That I mean it's
Man.
abnormally high for it to be considered a bear. I guess is what I would say. But it again, all the stories you read, there's nothing about it attacking anybody. There's nothing about attacking wildlife or anything like I it does say that it does keep
Prison.
its kills up in trees and can be found up in trees, high
Mhm.
up in trees. So it's definitely I would think it is still considered a predatory animal. But I didn't read anything on an attack on anybody. Just that
Cellar.
you can that its kills have been found up high in trees, which is very
Yeah.
cat-like. Even though the way it's described,
Coming
it
to
doesn't
get
really
me. I
necessarily.
hear you.
I don't necessarily consider it cat-like the way it's described.
Guide.
Yeah. The way it's described, it seems more like a bear to me. Like a like bear shaped, bear likeness. Like a dire bear. It's like
Yeah,
Respect.
but
yeah.
here's
Total respect.
one
Don't
artist
breathe.
rendition, and
Wandering.
that's freaky looking.
Yeah.
That's generally freaking. If I ran into something like that in the
Bible.
forest, I don't even think I'd run. I know I'm not outrunning it.
Yeah.
And then
Run away.
did you show this one? That's the exact same noise I was hearing when I saw this picture. Oh my lord.
I'm feeling malaise.
I keep looking at his face and I keep hearing it.
I almost spit my beer out.
And this one looks like someone was I don't Photoshop.
I don't know.
This looks nothing like what any depiction of.
Yeah. This looks like a goat with a tail. It's or and it's not that big.
It's a
Dave.
dog, Dave.
It's a dog with horns. They put horns on this dog and a beard. They photoshopped a beard on it.
It's. I don't
That's
even
where I
think
like it.
that's its tail.
I just put it up, bro. I'm not judging. I'm like, okay, you say that's the Osark Howler. All right.
I'm a little judgy here.
You can be judgy, that's fine.
And it looks like it's blind in one eye. It's like someone took their 10-year-old dog. Oh my lord. I can't with this photo, Dave. I really can't with this photo. Every time I look at it.
Torturer. Poke below.
I gotta take it off. I'm gonna die.
Follow me.
Oh my lord. Ooh. All right, take a breath. All right. Oh.
Right.
Who? Farther.
John's gonna take a breath. So
Man.
in Little Rock, Arkansas in 1927, there was an encounter with an Osark Howler. And there's a book called Tales of the Osark Howler, which was published in 1938 and has a bunch of these stories. And basically the story goes, I was on a thin road, barely wider than a footpath, completely surrounded by dark forest, when suddenly a large dark figure jumped across the road in front of me. I was alarmed and immediately stood still to consider what I had seen, wondering if I should investigate. Stepping forward slowly, I looked around the side of the road for any sight of movement or sound. As my eyes were adjusting to the dark, I thought I could see a large looming figure on top of a rise around what I estimated to be a few yards from where I stood.
Who is
Didn't
she?
know what to make of it, seeing only the still outlines of the silhouette. I noticed it slowly moving toward me, which gave me enough reason to hurry forward. I knew that I still had about 2 miles to go before the nearest neighbor who might let me in.
Oh, Jesus.
Before I began walking, though, I lit my lantern so that I could see my way more clearly. That's what I told myself anyway. I think I just felt safer with the light, as the brightness would protect me from the creature in the darkness. I began to see more clearly at the edge of the warm light what I could only describe as somewhat feline face, but with dark, long, shaggy hair, as well as large yellow eyes that were focused on me. Without thinking why, I thrust my lantern out in front of me before the creature could get any closer. With my heart beating fast, I began walking down the road again as fast as I could. It followed me, and I'm sure of that, but the beast never attacked. The last I saw of it was when I pressed on the gas, so he started running, and was a blur followed by a guttural howl.
Switch.
And then he just took off running.
Gate.
Sorry, you said guttural howl. All I heard was.
What do I do?
So, in December 2015, the Arkansas television station 4029 News reported that they had received photographs purported to be images of the Osark Howler. The station contacted the Arkansas Fish and Game Commission, who responded that they had heard no claims of sightings of the creature and said that the images sent to the station were a hoax. Call records to the Arkansas Fish and Game Commission during the fall of 2014 include a reported sighting of an animal in Benton County, Arkansas. In October 2014, a recorded emergency call received by the AGFC indicates a motorist nearly collided with an unidentified mammal at 9:45 p.m. The recorded phone conversation indicates that armed state wildlife officer may have been dispatched to investigate what reports described as a bear-sized gray fast-running animal on Pump Station Road in Springdale. So that was 2014.
I wish I could have found the photos of what they sent.
Day. 10.
I was waiting for you to say that.
What do I do?
Oh.
Bedroom.
Oh no!
Now you say something.
Oh. 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 That was good. Yeah, I probably would have said that was a hoax too.
Yeah, I don't think so, bro.
Oh shit!
There's a whole bunch of this thing. Let's
Oh.
It's funny as hell.
But it did kind of feel like the story that you're talking about, though, from that book. It felt like it was territorial at that point in time, but it did not attack. It just made sure that
just made sure you went on your way.
It was not going to come into his territory and possibly endanger its cubs.
Yeah.
Or puppies.
Cellar. Cold.
Or
what happened to me?
Dogs.
Grandfather.
I don't know what to call this anymore, Dave.
I don't know.
Jennifer. What should I do? Burned.
I almost want to take a trip. Oh yeah, I'd be laughing. I almost want to make a trip over to southeastern Kansas and kind of get their feel on the Osark Howler. It's not that far away from me.
Poke.
What are you poking? Oh, Jesus. Oh, my stomach hurts, Dave.
Rituals.
What are you looking up? Seeing if there's more.
Yeah, just see if I can find some more data on the Osark Howler.
There's not a lot after what we've already talked about. I was reading.
Axe.
No, there's no axes for this thing. Might want an axe if you ever ran into it.
Female. Real. Love.
Hmm.
I like the dark omen predicting the death who sees it. But that story,
Where are you?
that guy didn't die.
Yeah.
Star.
Like, how do you
Why are
say
you
his
here?
story if he saw it?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Hmm.
More. Sailor.
I think it's definitely a predator
Where? Man.
in
Run.
in the nature's realm. In the
Yes.
natural sense, I guess.
Yeah. And as
Like
far
a
as
wolf
animals
or
go, yeah, I think
yeah,
it's
like a wolf or a mountain lion or
Cheating.
something. But it doesn't. I don't get
okay.
that unless you
Yeah.
invade its territory. I don't,
So let's see. Howler History Essay Co. Yeah. Yeah, so the rumor is with the Daniel Boone thing that it shot and killed an Ozark Howler in 1816.
Talk
Every
with
year, a
me.
witness come forward with an encounter with the creature. It wasn't until the 1950s that record keeping started in earnest. There have been
None.
hundreds of Howler encounters reported since 1810. 2015 appears to be the most active year in the last decade.
Married.
The monster only appears at night. List of recent sightings and encounters. October 2014, Pump Station Road, Benton County, Arkansas. That's the one I read.
Yep.
December 2015, Devil's Den State Park in Missouri.
Yep.
May 2011, Newton County, Arkansas.
Yep.
July 2020, Ginger Blue, Missouri.
Yep.
December 2022, Falcon, Missouri.
Oh, I didn't hear
Se-
that one.
September 2015, Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri. And July 2018 in Rollo, Missouri.
A lot of Missouri in there.
Mm-hmm. Descriptions have changed over the years. At first, the howler has been described like a grizzly bear. Descriptions from 21st century describe the monster more like a giant bobcat with horns. 1950s, a series of encounters with goat-like creatures with bear wolf face made the news. No one has captured the beast on film, at least a credible photo or video to say for sure. Here are the characteristics. Says stands between 3 and 6 feet at the shoulder. So on all fours, it's 6 feet tall.
Yes.
Yes. Heavy set belly, stocky legs, glowing red eyes, razor sharp claws, large lion sized teeth, dog like snout, cat like movement and agility, thick black or gray fur, long tail with a fluffy tip, ram like horns, and shrieking howl. The most obvious characteristic is the cryptid's howl, which sounds more like a shriek. It's
Liar.
described as a cross between a wolf howl and an elk's bugle without the hyena. Thank you so much.
Sister.
Oh, I'm okay. Keep going.
Did you hear that?
What?
The
Madison.
the shriek captured on I played it. I don't know if you heard it.
Church.
No, I didn't hear
Kitchen.
it.
Okay. See if we can hear it again. See if this comes through. I don't know if it will.
Confused.
Did you hear that?
No, it's not coming through.
Damn.
Might have to pull up the other screen share it and play it.
What happened to me?
Oh, I could do that.
Lady of the night.
And the only lady of the night likes that. You got the reverse siren going.
Yeah.
Follow me.
All right.
Can you? Okay, so that's there. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
In danger.
It's
Did.
interesting.
Oh.
Sounds nothing like you, Dave.
No, it doesn't sound like me.
But it does sound like that was
Do not. Pleasure.
made through an
Harm.
audio enhancer.
Lock it. Be
Like
quiet.
somebody that sounded like man-made
Yeah,
to me.
it sounds like a trumpet with auto tune is kind of what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, it sounds like someone put Wolf's Howl and a
Back.
Elk's Bugle
Lawrence.
in a sound machine and played them both together at the same time so you could hear it.
Yeah.
Not that they actually caught that on tape.
Purgatory.
Yeah.
But
this was
if they did
this
catch
was
it on tape,
apparently captured by Travel Channel Paranormal Show.
if
Not
they
to be named.
did capture that's an interesting sound, but it definitely sounds
Brandy.
mechanical.
It does sound mechanical. Yeah. So say cryptozoologists think the Ozark Howler may be related to phantom black dogs, hellhounds, or other shape-shifting dog monsters from Great Britain. Some researchers also believe those that hear the monster will become cursed and die from an accident within a month.
Oh, great. Thanks, Dave.
Okay. Now we're both like, aren't we?
Peaceful.
Well, I know
That's
my
peaceful.
last word's gonna be
So so not every description or encounter appears to be supernatural. Maybe less than 10% of all sightings and encounters. Based on these reports, here are some of the monster's abilities: intangibility, teleportation, super strength, night vision, rapid
Hell.
healing,
Start.
howls that kill, similar to a Wendigo, death curse, and death stare.
Did you say
Bedroom.
teleportation?
Crying.
Teleportation. Based on the reports of sightings and encounters,
Evil.
possible things that the Ozark Howler can do.
Okay, let's start that over. So hold on. So cat-like reflexes.
That's their
Brandy. Don't bleed.
So 6 feet at the
Start.
shoulder, heavy set
Brandy.
belly, stocky legs, glowing red eyes, razor sharp claws, large lion-sized teeth, dog-like snout, cat-like movement and agility, thick black or gray fur, long tail with a fluffy tip, ram-like horns, shrieking howl. That's the physical characteristics.
Okay. And then abilities, let's
Julie.
go a little slower here. So
Okay.
abilities were what?
Intangibility.
Forward.
Intangibility.
Yeah, that's like non-corporealness. Go through walls, shit like that.
Yeah.
Teleportation.
I played enough games. I know what intangibility is.
I'm trying to make sure you're picking up what I'm putting down. You told me to go slow.
That's because I'm writing this.
Okay.
Teleportation. Go ahead.
Super strength.
Super strength.
Night vision.
Night vision.
Rapid healing.
So he's Wolverine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Lord.
Howl that kills.
How? It has to be
It's
your howl.
similar to the Wendigo. Howl that kills.
You're killing me.
Purgatory. Window.
He said a death stare. I think
Death stare and death curse.
Male.
death stare and death curse.
How did I die?
So if
Rich.
not being 6 foot at the shoulders was not fucking big enough,
What year is it?
it can go through solid objects, teleport,
What do I do?
super strong, has cat-like reflexes, can see in the night or night vision,
Mm-hmm.
rapid healing,
Grandfather.
and how that can kill you, like the Wendigo. It can look at you when you die and curse you.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Karma.
So it says, the closing notes on this say the beast seems to be more shy than anything. No one has been injured or killed by the beast.
Well, thank God it's shy, Dave.
Yeah.
Holy
If you do
shit.
encounter one, this may be a chance for more research. Grab your phone and record its movement and howl.
Yeah, that's what I do. It can howl and kill me.
It can howl and kill me, but I'm going to go ahead and record that because that sounds like fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the next found footage film, Dave.
The Osark Howler and John.
Found footage.
Yeah. All right. What do you say we score this guy?
Let's score this. I'm gonna give the size an 8.
I think the size is an 8. I agree with that.
6 foot at the shoulder. That's fucking big.
Yeah.
And they can move bipedal.
Yeah.
Now I have to be at a 10 with speed, Dave. The fucker can teleport.
If it can teleport, yeah, I agree. I think it's got to be. At first, I was like, okay, cat-like, it's gonna be, but no, if it can teleport
and go go
happening?
through solid object,
yeah,
the speed has to be a 10, right?
speed has to be a 10. The evidence is where it's gonna hurt because there's like no, I mean, there's some pictures and stuff. I gotta lay claim to that, but but I mean, come on, there's a shitload of pictures of this thing.
Sure, I was gonna pull up too.
And I'm just like, come on. There's like 20 of them all like different angles and shit. It's walking away and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I can't. I'll just grab one.
What should I do?
I know.
I got a picture of it.
Shine.
Call 2049.
48.
We have photographic evidence of the Osark Howler.
Yeah, that's a hoax.
That's a hoax. I went to Build-A-Bear and got that.
Oh my
Natalie.
God.
Brett.
The evidence is lacking.
That's the thing that would make that sound. Or this one.
I know those are supposed to be horns on its head, but all I see is a little red bow.
Martin.
You got the Minnie Mouse of Osark Howlers. Oh, I think the evidence is lacking here. I know you have the audio.
We've got sightings and stuff. I think it's going to be higher than the Adlet, but not much. I'm thinking maybe 4.
16. Busy.
It's not 16.
It's definitely not a 16.
We're gonna have to put 3.5, Dave.
Okay.
We're gonna have to put 3.5.
Okay, I'm down for that, bro. But aggressive, no.
Lady. Today.
The aggression here, it seems like the aggression only comes to one other animals because it is a predator.
Yeah.
But I think it is, it stated it's shy towards humans.
Yeah.
Tunnel. Dig.
Unless I think
What is your name?
during the mating season when it becomes territorial.
Yeah.
I think if you want to see it be aggressive, that would be the time of year that it would happen. But with that said, I don't think I'd give it more than a 5 on the aggression level.
That's about where I'm at. As a
Okay.
5.
Laura's she goes back a long ways.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to early 1800s. So
yeah, 1816 is
Why
like
are
kind of
you
like
here?
one of the big first stories.
What do you want?
yeah, and it's Daniel Boone. So that's kind of a cool
And it
first
is
story.
Daniel Boone. Yeah, and it is Daniel Boone. So I do like that
How
part
many?
of the story. And I do like the story. I like the story that you read about the guy being followed
Find
and
me.
it walking
Bored.
it out of its territory. I like that story. I
Then.
like the fact that it didn't attack him, but it did scare the shit out of him and he ran for his life. I do like that.
Yeah, and I like that the stories are still coming. The most recent sighting is December of
2022.
last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like 2 months ago.
3 months ago. Yeah. So I do like that part. So am I higher than the Adlet with the lore?
Evil.
I don't think this is evil. A lot of people think it is. I don't think it is.
Well, we went
I think it's very new.
7.5 with the Adlet. So cuz you went 7, I went 8.
18.
Yeah.
And I'm not at an 8.
Hidden. Ray.
I don't even think I don't think I'm at a 7. Even
Yeah.
though it has the long history,
Ant.
I don't think there's enough.
I think I think the Adlet's history goes further back, but then there's nothing really current.
Yeah.
The Osark Howler doesn't go back as far, but the sightings are current.
Yeah.
So I think that gives it a little bit.
I think I'd probably put it at a 7.
Yeah.
I think it's
I think
lower
about
than the Adlet.
Sin.
I think it's at 7. 7?
Yeah. 7.
7. So manifestations.
A lot of sightings. A lot of manifestations. I can't. I've got to give, not that this is right, but I got it. There's at least manifestations of it. Or at
That
least
thing
what
looks
they think
6 foot tall at the shoulder day.
That does not. I think that looks smaller than my dog, bro. And my dog's a dachshund. So,
Oh my god. It looks like an old ass Jack Russell.
Amy. Ornament.
On its last leg.
I was like,
It looks blind in one eye, Dave. It looks blind in one eye.
looks blind in one eye, and
Sin.
But there are a lot of stories of it. Again,
a lot of stories.
non-aggressive.
I think because of that, because the stories are current, there's still sightings of it. I've got to be higher than the Adlet.
Don't come
Higher
in.
than the Adlet.
Yeah. Because we're talking about it showing itself and being seen.
Yeah.
And I know, and that's still currently happening.
Yeah, no, I agree there. I'm just
So,
trying to
but
think how much higher would you go? I think maybe a 6.
Yeah, well, I'm going 7.
Going 7.
I'm going 7.
I am in pain. Sad.
I think
I'd
we're at a
be-
6.5.
Okay. Okay. Audio. Audio's pretty good here.
can't say that and then and then say audio's pretty good here.
Audio's pretty good here. I think I think my rendition was spot on. So
the
even though that sounded mechanical, they call that audio evidence. It talks about its howl can curse people. Its howl can
yeah,
can
Leave
kill.
here.
can
So
kill. Yeah.
and
It can
so and
hurt
that's one
you.
of its major things is its shriek is
Goodbye.
what you hear. So I
Well,
think
Yeah.
I think the sound
no.
I think the sound is actually solid here.
And a lot of reports of that sound.
Yeah.
Disagree. Douglas.
I've been trying to hold it together.
49.
The audio is definitely better than the Adlet.
Yes.
Uh, we gotta get off this category. I'm gonna say it 8.
Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down, bro. Let's go 8. Okay, feels.
There's I got some feelings about this day. Oh
Yeah.
Lordy.
Yeah.
I know people are scared of this thing, which and almost I don't I think I'd be fucking scared too if it could teleport and
If it
kill
can
me
teleport
in a howl and
and the howl
scare me
and the
and die
claws and 6 foot tall at the shoulders.
that's an intimidating thing to walk up on.
Yeah. I mean, that's like 6 foot at the shoulders. That's 10 foot. If it stood up on its hind leg, that's 10 foot tall.
It's probably bigger than that.
Might
6 foot
even
at the
bigger than that.
shoulders. Yeah, I mean that thing's
Hello.
freaking huge.
Why did you come?
And it's bipedal. I don't know
Lord.
if I gave the right size
Stay.
category for this number for this, but considering the 30-foot wingspan, you know, on the
Bat Squatch.
apes Bat Squatch, it's
Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
but
Undecided.
I think feel there's a genuine fear here. There's no attacks of humans. It is definitely predatory, but it seems just
Well,
a naturalistic predatory.
The only thing is the whole death thing. When you
Yeah,
hear it,
yeah. I
when
was
you
just
see
I
it,
was
Don't
just getting
come
there.
in.
that
Yeah,
would
where it has the dark omen predicting the death who see it.
Yep.
That's definitely something to worry about.
Missing. Garden. Respect.
I don't think it's as high as the Adlet.
No. No, I don't think so either. Maybe 6.
I was thinking 6. That's exactly the number that's popping in my head. But
Yep.
I like the objects here. I like
Yeah.
finding the trees with the markings on the top
Yeah.
higher than the normal bear, and the teeth marks and the
What year is it?
footprints and things like that. I like the objects here. I think you have to count all that in with the objects.
Richard.
Yep.
It's not
Damage.
affecting anything mechanical or
10.
anything like that. But I think the objects here are higher than the Adlet. I think it warrants with the trees and things like that. I think it warrants at least a 5.
Yeah. I was gonna go 5.
This is okay. So danger. This is a weird one because
Okay. Yeah,
it's
on the one
dangerous
hand, it
without
is
being
not dangerous.
It's dangerous without being dangerous.
Yes. This goes back to the Mothman.
Dangerous without being dangerous.
Yes.
Banshee.
the banshee. It's not killing, but it symbolizes death. Like death is coming for you
Yeah.
How many?
if you see it or you hear it. So on that note, it is dangerous.
Yeah. And I think it does have a little bit of a danger level if you do invade his territory during
Yeah.
mating season. I think that's why it becomes territorial. I'm a
Patient.
firm believer that's why it's
Rich.
becoming territorial, because it's
Yeah.
very migratory until a certain point in time of year, which tells me at a certain point in time of year they're breeding.
Yeah.
So I just like sharks almost. Uh so I have to give a little bit of points to that. I
Mhm.
I
Invisible.
again, it's dangerous without being dangerous. So I don't think I could go high on the danger level like we did
No.
with the Adlet at a 10. I think I would probably put this in between that six
Play
and
with
7
me.
spot is where I'd put it. You're
Grandmother.
saying
Yeah.
6. Okay.
I'm saying 6
I'm
is where I'm at.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I
Lady.
like a 6. Like I said, it'd be right there at that 6 or 7 spot for me. Oh.
Hmm.
Hello.
Hello.
65? Did you get 65?
I
65?
got 65.
Wow, it's really a higher score than the Adlet? That's kind of
Kate.
amazing, but
Harold.
the bigger size, the bigger more speed, a little bit more evidence. Yeah, okay.
A little bit
Yeah.
more evidence, a little bit more objects.
The audio is really where it
The
hurts.
audio is
Object.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, 65. Interesting. Oh, I gotta take a break, or I'm gonna have the giggles the rest of the night. But that's the Ozark Howler is 65. That's interesting. So when we come back though, we're going to talk about the Keelut, or also known as the Keykern.
Speaker. Yeah.
Depending on who you talk to. Uh but yeah, let's take a quick little break, get rid of some of that beer,
Get some more beer.
and get some more beer, because well, you rent the beer. Uh what's this song, Dave? No, can't use it.
Dear. Guide.
uh,
Why are you
how about
here?
this one? There we go. So this is some creepy music. We'll be right back.
Brave.
Oh, and hopefully I can get rid of the giggles. All right, Dave. Let's get going.
Hammer.
All right.
We are back.
Damage.
You're still muted, bro.
Not.
But he knew I was doing it.
Yeah. I can't get rid of it. All right. But we have talked about the Adlet and the Osark Howler. Oh.
Smile.
I'm pretty sure I am smiling.
Smiling.
And we're going to
Torturer.
talk about the Keelut, also known as the key kern.
Inmate.
Oh, whew. Also in Alaska.
Yes.
And also ties with the Inuit tribes. Ooh, that's a good one.
What year is it?
I like that one.
Danger.
So it is known as a large bald dog spirit
Who?
in the Inuit mythologies or lore or whatever you want to call it.
Where am I? Always. I'm
Sorry.
lost.
So the Keelut or the key kern is a large bald dog spirit in Inuit mythology from around the area of Baffin Island.
Baffin Island,
Its,
yep.
Coffin.
its only hair is on its feet, mouth, and the tips of its ears and tail.
And tail.
Its presence will send men and dogs into convulsions, sometimes fatal. However, it is frightened of humans and will run away from an Angakuk, or the medicine man in the Inuit culture. They'll run away from medicine man.
I found that interesting that
Yeah.
they're scared of the medicine man.
Yeah. A similar term also from Inuit mythology is the Keelut, is a malevolent earth spirit.
Peplin.
I don't know why, Dave, but when I said medicine man, all I saw was Sean Connery going.
I'm a cure for cancer. It's in the ant's poop.
I don't know why that image of him popped in my head in the movie Medicine Man. Oh, sorry. Keep going. Malevolent earth spirit.
Innocent.
Yeah, malevolent earth spirit, which also appears as a hairless dog.
It's kind of weird. It's almost kind of like it's believed to be two different things.
Yeah.
That that it's a large bald dog spirit.
Crime. Demon.
Or that it's an actual earth spirit.
Heaven.
That
Purgatory.
is seen as a large bald dog.
Yeah.
Grandfather.
I found that interesting that it's kind of seen as two different things, both in the same community. I find that interesting. Like, I mean, like some say it's a spirit on its own, and others say it's a whole separate spirit that likes to take the form of this.
Yeah.
And when it boils down to when you read the stories, that's kind of like the difference between calling it a Keelut or a key kern.
Yeah.
Rich.
If I read that right during my research, would you agree with that?
Judge.
Yeah, I got that impression too.
Like it was,
even though these two they're supposedly the same thing, the descriptions are are different.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a there's a story by Rudyard Kipling called Keelut.
Yeah.
And
Psychic.
in that story, the creature is described as a giant, phantasmal, toothless, and hairless dog with 6 or 8 pairs of legs.
Yeah. 6 to 8 pairs. That folks, that's 12 to
Innocent.
16 legs on this thing.
Right.
Turn
Keelut
it
is
off.
seen wandering before important events and makes dogs go mad.
Yes. But
Kevin.
Kevin
I
again. I've had Kevin like 5 times tonight, and
yeah,
he's
he
not on the
hasn't even
show.
shown up here. What the hell?
Respect.
Yeah,
Uh,
bastard. No respect.
Leave it.
Johnny Dangerfield moment. Uh, I found it interesting on how
What?
the Keelut or Keykern, whatever one you want to call it,
Boring.
how it hunts. Like
Yeah.
it literally causes confusion, disorientation to people out in the wilderness to the point where they get hypothermia and die, and then they eat them.
Yeah.
That's basically how it hunts. It's like you're out in the wilderness. I'm gonna disorientate you, or even make you go into convulsions,
Cemetery.
get hypothermia and die, and then I'm gonna eat you. Why? Because humans scare me.
Shine.
Yeah. So interesting. I found this. I found this article.
Female.
Talks about the Keelut as a creature of Inuit legend, one who hunts people during the winter, but is not actually a predator. It
Talk
is a
with-
spirit of the netherworld. The Keelut or the Keekern is sometimes referenced to as the spirit of death or an evil earth spirit. While it is actually a spirit, it takes the form of what some believe to be a true cryptid.
Blessed.
It's hard to say which is more a frightening aspect of the creature.
Dennis.
That it's an immense, malevolent, black, hairless dog with the sole purpose of preying upon humans, or that it's also a spirit so it doesn't necessarily abide by the laws of physics.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and again, still going to kill you.
Yeah.
It is
So,
actually known
ahead.
as a harbinger of death, and that feeds on the dead.
Yeah.
Not necessarily
How
that it
many?
always kills you, but it will feed on the dead. It has the ability to kill you,
Grandfather.
but it doesn't necessarily have to kill you to feed on you.
Mhm.
It feels more like it's almost like the carrion of
Guilty.
cryptids. Like it's the vulture
Madison.
of cryptids.
Mhm.
But at the same time, just by being in its presence, it can disorientate
What
you,
date is it?
make you go into convulsions, create
Mhm.
hypothermia,
Night.
and basically kill you that way. But come on, 16 fucking legs on this damn thing?
Well, if it's a spirit, it's kind of like the
Yeah.
fox with 9 tails.
Yeah. There was a story where two hunters were out and they were starving and they were looking for food. And they
Mhm.
literally thought they were following the Keelut to food. Because it was snowy, blizzard conditions. They saw a bunch of legs. It actually ended up being a pair of a pair of dogs that
Yeah, they were
were
their collars were tied together or something.
Yeah, and they're
Please.
running down, and they actually did end up leading them to food.
Yeah.
Which I found was interesting. It's
Right.
like, so even though it didn't actually turn out to be the Keelut leading them to food, it actually turned out to
Where
be the
am
Keelut
I?
leading them to food, which I
Find
thought
me.
was interesting.
Stupid.
What?
Spirit.
It's mad because I'm not listening to it again.
I guess. At least you didn't get asshole again.
Yeah, I did not get asshole again. But I found it.
Where am I?
This is
Prison.
a weird one. It has ties. Again, this is another one that has ties to the Hound of Hell.
Yes. It also has ties to the Church Grim and the Barghest of Great Britain, which also connects
To the Adlet.
to the Adlet.
Yeah. I found that interesting as well.
Yeah.
That it has ties
Where am
to
I?
both the Osark Howler with the Hounds of Hell and the Adlet
Where are you?
with the Church Grim and the Barghest.
Mhm.
Which is why I wanted to talk about this last. Because it had ties to both. And I found that very fascinating.
Yeah.
That it kind of had ties to both of the other ones that we've already talked about. But this is one that doesn't necessarily have a lot of information attached to it, which seems like it's more a secret than the actual Adlet was.
Yeah.
I found that interesting as well. Like, this one is less talked about in the Inuit
Danger.
than the actual
Cemetery.
Adlet was. I find that interesting. That
Asshole.
there you go, Dave.
There it is. There it is.
Troop.
Damn you, Dave. I blame you for that one.
The Keekern is a huge dog of Inuit folklore. More presence of the Keekern around men and dogs cause them to suffer fits, state of which ends only when the Keekern leaves. However, the Keekern is also extremely scared of humans and will run away from Unison men. Okay, that's
Not
right.
here.
The fits are induced by the Keekern's presence, may be a symbolic reference to shamanic initiation.
Really?
It shares this feature with the initiatory bear spirit of Baffin Island.
That's interesting. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I
In
want
the second Jungle Book, the Keekern appears in a snowstorm.
Follow you.
Oh, okay. This is the one that I was talking about. As an enormous, toothless, hairless dog with 2 heads and 8 pairs of legs. So now it's kind of leaning towards Cerberus, which was another reference. It talked about the Cerberus dog.
Again, the Hound of Hell.
Yeah.
Tired.
Yeah, a little bit.
Bored.
No, not really.
Old.
Word.
Yeah, I guess I am old. Dave's older though.
Yeah. I'm older.
Wow. 2 heads.
2
8
heads, 8
legs.
legs. I think, as a spirit, it can kind of be whatever it wants to be. It also says that the fur on the bottom on its feet is so it can kind of brush away its own tracks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because actually one of the signs that a key current around is tracks that just suddenly disappear.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting because, and I, I find that interesting because if there's tracks, if you're following tracks, the ones that you see are the oldest. So as you keep following those tracks, those are the newest tracks seen because you're following it.
Right.
So why do they just disappear? I mean, if it was an actual dog or whatnot, those tracks wouldn't disappear. You'd be able to follow that all
Bedroom.
the way straight through. Why are they disappearing? I like that. I do like that. Very much gives it that paranormal vibe to it that the tracks are just disappearing. But again, when you look up, like if you look for encounters of the Keykern or Keykern,
Greetings. Find
Keelut.
me.
Oh yeah, Keykern. Either
He
or.
turned right.
Uh, you don't see a lot
How
of
does it work?
information about encounters with it. But it kind of makes sense that you wouldn't, because if you just in its mere presence can cause you to go into convulsion and die.
Open.
Right. Or just sit there in a convulsion
Hammer.
state, in a convulsive state until the
Yeah.
Keelut leaves.
Female.
That I don't know what to think about
Oh.
this one. At the same time that it's telling you that it's
Qualified.
scared of humans and definitely scared of medicine men, it's also
Hammer.
killing lone travelers.
Yeah. It stalks him at night
Yeah.
and kills. So it says it's predatory. It's predatory in the winter. So in the
Yeah.
winter months,
Well,
it says it's hunting.
which
Knock.
is really weird for a hairless dog.
Mhm.
You would think that was a summer dog all day long.
Darn right. Why am I in Alaska? I ain't got no hair. Fuck is
Why
going
in
on?
Mexico, man? What the hell?
I have enough trouble going to Alaska, and I'm just bald on top.
The ears get cold.
Yeah. Ears in the nose.
It, I don't know. This is a different one. I wish there
What
was
is
actually
happening?
more information. I know I wanted to talk about this one last because of the
Mhm.
ties to the Adlet and the Ozark Howler, but I wish it had more information. I
Oh,
wish they talked about this more. But again, if you saw this thing, odds are you could die just from being around it. Creating, I mean, and you can't even bring a dog around it.
yeah, if you're male or a dog, you're in trouble when it comes around.
Is it only men that
Only
it
men and
affects?
dogs.
That's what it sounded like, right? That it only
Um,
affects the men?
yeah. Mm.
I wonder why it doesn't have that effect on women.
I don't know.
Considering dogs are man's best friend. I don't know if I
Hello.
what do you think? Do you think it's an elemental spirit?
Silly.
Or do you think it's an actual dog?
I think it can become either one. I think it's a spirit that
Dark.
can
Goodbye.
manifest as a dog.
Stop
So
recording.
you're more on par with it being malevolent elemental spirit
Yeah.
than
Dad.
it actually just
Taylor.
being a large bald dog spirit.
Yeah.
Trapped.
Okay, with that
But I
said,
but I think as a malevolent earth spirit, I
Here.
think it can transform. I think it could
yeah,
basically
if it's the malevolent earth spirit, I would agree with you there.
yeah.
Do you think there could be more than one of these? Because that's the thing with Adelaide,
Hello.
it hunted in packs.
Aaron Pax. The
The
Keelut is
Ozark
solo.
was definitely solo, but there's
Right.
definitely more than one of those.
Yes.
Do you think the Keelut or Keekern, whatever you want to call it, is
I
a
think I think there's more.
solo
I think there's more than
predatory
one.
animal or
Yeah.
earth
Make a
elemental
noise.
spirit, or do you think there's multiple of them?
I think there's multiple of these.
You think
And
there's multiple?
I think they're predatory in the wintertime, and maybe that's when they're primarily in their dog form.
Why the dog form?
I don't know.
That's again two things. Oh, that's nasty looking.
Mhm.
Sit down.
I don't know whether or not I'd want to run from that or feed that.
Count.
That's nasty looking. That's a good illustration. I like that one. This is an interesting one. I
Greetings.
say that a lot. I think they're all interesting, honestly. Uh,
Yeah. I like cryptids in general, but
yeah,
this is an interesting one. This is like there were things I liked, and then there wasn't a whole. This is why I
Man.
wanted to talk about it when we did our pregame, was because I was like, okay, I don't know what to make of this.
yeah.
So I wanted to discuss it. I'm not saying it's going to
Talk with
get.
me.
I think it might get the lowest score of the night, but I think it's a really interesting. It's something that
It's
it has
very
ties.
different.
It has ties into the Adlet and the Ozark Howler, yet at
Forward.
the same time, it's something completely different.
Completely different. But it does feel like it's kind of a mixture of both. I mean, of course, it has no hair, so it's got that difference. But it it almost feels like when we talked about the Adlet, we talked about the Ozark Howler, the the Keelut
I want
seems
to.
like it's almost like a combination of both, but at the same time, it's completely different than both.
Yeah.
It, it's this is a this is a weird one. This is a weird one. It's not very big. It's not. It. I
No,
guess it's not.
it's really dog size. It's not.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a super big, intimidating thing. It's
No, I
fluffy.
Cemetery.
mean,
It's
yeah, it
ugly.
sometimes has 8 legs and 2 heads and stuff
Okay,
like
that'd
that,
be
and
pretty
it's
intimidating.
that's pretty intimidating. It's aggressive. It's a predator. It'll come get you, and it does attack humans.
But it only
So
attacks men. Is another
it
weird
only
thing.
well, I don't think it only attacks men. I think only
Friend.
the whole convulsion thing only affects men.
Old.
But it just says it goes
Closet.
after lone travelers and hunts at night. It doesn't say that
Yeah,
it only hunts and kills men
but its
Bedroom.
presence only creates that disorientation and convulsion in men
in
or
men
dogs.
or dogs. Yeah.
So I would think that would be its primary food source would be
Talk with me.
a
I would
male.
think that would be easiest and, you know,
Lord. Grandfather.
Hmm. I wish there was more information on the Keelut. I really do. It's just not out there. And
What
the
is your
info
name?
I shouldn't say that. I should say all the information about the Keelut or Keycurn all say the same thing.
mhm.
Bless.
There's lots of different spots where you can check out the Keelut or the Keycurn, but they
Don't
all
leave.
say the same
Dance.
thing. So there's not a lot
God.
of
Not a
because they
lot of
all say the same thing, there's not a lot of new
Jump.
information about it.
yeah, there's not a lot of depth. There's not a lot of diversity.
Guardian.
There's not a lot of encounters talked about with the Keycurn or the Keelut. There's this is a weird one.
Damaged.
And I think you're right. This might end up being the lowest score of the night, but I also agree that this is definitely one I wanted to talk about when we were talking about our cryptos during the pregame, which is
Where am
why
I?
we talked about two Alaska ones because we couldn't decide which one we wanted to. Or we're like, let's just talk about both because I think the Keelut was worth talking about.
Yeah.
Dig.
With that said, Dave, do you want to score it?
Yeah, let's score it. I think we're completely talked out
Command.
Yeah, it's just not a lot of information out there. It's just repetitive information.
Grandson.
So I think
Tom.
the size here, I think we're talking smaller than human,
Yeah.
with
So
size wise. So I'd probably at the maximum I'd put it at a 4.
yeah,
Okay.
Fight.
I'm at a
4.
4.
Yeah, because it's not diminutive, but it's just
No,
smaller human. Speed,
I think it's got good speed,
Heart attack.
especially if it's a malevolent spirit.
yeah, I think the speed is good. I don't think it's a 10.
No,
Is it
Julie.
better than Adlet at a 7?
Fly. What happened to me? Madison.
I don't think it's
Diane.
better than the Adlet. I think
yeah,
if
I'm
anything, I would
I'm
say
even. I'm
2.
even with the Adlet, but in a different way. I'm not thinking not physically running across the thing, but I think spiritually and as a
Yeah, if I
spirit, it can move
think
pretty fast.
about it being an earth elemental, I
Yeah,
would I give it I would probably put it at a 7.
yeah,
And here's one that's really gonna hurt it. I
yeah.
think the
I
evidence
don't.
on this thing
I don't
is
think we can even give it a 2, can we? I think it's going to have
no,
to be a 1.
I think it would have to be a 1. It has less it even
That's
has
right,
less
the Adlet.
stories than that.
Yeah,
So, I have to agree. I'd have to put this at a 1.
but I do
And
think it's aggressive.
Danger.
is it though? Is it
It's
really
predatory.
aggressive?
Yeah, it
I mean,
stalks lone travelers and attacks them and kills them. I think it's aggressive, but it singles
Happened
out
to me.
people. It wants
Leave
to
me
get the
alone.
solo guys.
no, that's
So yeah,
true.
I think it's aggressive. I'm not at a 10 with it, but I think it's aggressive.
Evil.
Are you higher than the Ozark at a 5?
Yes.
Again.
I don't think I could go higher than a 7 though.
That's where I was at. I'm at a 7.
Castle.
All right. I'll go with 7.
Jennifer.
The lore here, I think this hurts.
Yeah, the lore is good, but there's not much and it's all the
There's not
same.
much. Yeah.
So it's really like here they are, here's what they are, and here's
Yeah.
what they do. But there's not a whole lot of encounters. There's not a whole lot of sightings. There's not a whole lot of
Yeah.
evidence of it.
I think this is the worst lore of the night. I'd probably put it at a 4.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
Early.
too.
Thirst.
Manifestations.
Well, okay,
Again,
this
this
we're not thinking evidence, but we're thinking of what it can do. So it's a malevolent earth spirit that can transform into a dog cryptid, and I think that's good. That's significant.
it's
That
kind of
being said, huh?
it's kind of two things. It is a
Yeah,
malevolent earth spirit, and it is
and it's a cryptid.
and it's a cryptid.
So, I mean, that being said, I think is it higher than I think it's higher than the out Adlet, but I think it's around where the Ozark Howler is, so I'm kind of at a 6.
Hmm. Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you there. I think it is higher than the
Funny.
Adlet, but I
What
don't
date is
think
it?
it's necessarily as good as the Ozark Howler.
Yeah,
So yeah, I like the 6. I like the 6.
Demon.
demon.
I saw nothing for audio on this thing. I didn't hear about a yelp, a cry, a bark, or nothing.
Yeah, no shrieks or anything like that. Um,
Here.
so yeah, like the Adlet, I have to go 2.
Smoke.
Kind of with you
Play
there.
with me.
Kind of with you there.
Yeah,
The
I think
feels
Sorry.
it feels as interesting.
Yeah,
Because
it's definitely interesting.
yeah, because the Inuit people are afraid of it.
Window.
Yeah, they do have a little fear here. I don't know why they
Does
keep
fear.
walking out alone, but
It does stalk and kill,
yeah,
so there is physical contact.
yeah,
Again, I'm middle of the road. I think I'm about even with the Ozark Howler at 6.
that's
And
kind of
I'm
where I was thinking too. I
yeah,
was thinking right about 6. I don't see it could be any higher than that.
Find me.
yeah. And I
I
don't
mean, it's
think
not
object is very high here either.
sitting here. No, no,
I
it's
mean, helping the things get food, but that turned out to be 2 dogs tied together.
Grandmother.
yeah,
Um, it does stalks and kills. It does it shape shifts from earth spirit. I mean,
Window.
I think that'll lead to the danger level because I think it stalks and kills its prey, and I think it is predatory. I don't think objects is very
all right.
good.
Yeah. Our highest one was 5 with the Ozark, and then we
Besides our
got
Sky Network TV
Adlet.
one.
Yeah, I'm just talking about for the live, and then we got a
Look.
3.5 for the Adlet.
Dislike.
Mhm. Yeah, because you went 3, I went 4,
Yeah.
and
Do you
I think I'm about at a 3
Drown.
for objects here.
Surely. Where? Tell me about it. What
I,
year is it? Dead.
I think this is pretty much as equal to the Adlet. I just I don't know.
Hell. Kitchen.
Yeah, I'd probably put it at a 3.
Green.
At a 3.
Okay. Uh, danger level, I think it's good.
None.
I it's
Is
not
it
as high as the Adlet. It's not even close to the
well,
Adlet.
Devil.
is it as dangerous as the Ozark? And again, the Ozark was dangerous without being dangerous.
Right.
So
So I'm thinking score-wise because the Ozark is not dangerous in itself, but it's a harbinger of
it's a
death.
different kind of danger.
Different kind of danger.
But
Uh,
is the danger level do you
is
think
the
it's at least a 6?
is the Keelut also a harbinger of death? Did we actually talk about that?
The Keelut actually literally states in the research that it is a harbinger of death and feeds on the dead. So it
Yeah.
has that very vulture-like feel to it.
Why?
But
So
unlike the vulture,
and
it's
it
actually
attacks and kills.
I say unlike the vulture, it actually does kill its own prey.
Who?
Yeah. So
True.
on that note, I think it's higher than the Ozark Howler.
I have to agree with you there. I'd
Angry.
probably put this at a 7.
Yeah. I think that's where I'm at too.
Nice.
18. Help. Thank you. Slam.
Ooh,
47?
47.
Ow. That might be the
I,
lowest we
I think that's our
wow.
lowest score.
Over here.
Wow. That's less than a 5 average.
Yep. That is
Screen. Nice.
officially our
Great.
lowest score.
And which is funny because we have 1, 2, 3, 4,
Karma. Door.
5 less than 5.
Do you want to
Wow,
play?
that is officially our lowest score of the year.
Halt.
Yeah.
I don't think the Keelut is
Are
gonna
you
make
okay?
the
I don't
tournament
think
of
Keelut's
cryptids.
going to make the tournament.
Keelut gonna be sitting in the stands there.
Keelut's going to be watching from home. That's
I,
what that's going to be.
this is part 3, and there have been 10 better than the Keelut.
I don't think Keelut's making the draft.
No, no, no. Like I said, we out of if you think this is part 3 of cryptids, which makes it 12 cryptids that we've talked about so far this season.
Why did you come?
There are 10 better than the Keelut already.
Yeah. So
There are 11. There are 11 better than the Keelut already.
There are 12. There are 12 better because there are 13 that we've done so far. We got the Beast of Bladenborough.
Oh, the Beast of Bladenborough.
So that one counts.
Yeah, that one does count. You're right. There are 12 better than the Keelut.
There are 12 better.
The Keelut has
been knocked unless out everything else gets below 47 this year, which I don't think is going to happen. If we're just going to do the top 16, then
Jacob.
Yeah, that's right. We got to find 4 more better. It's not the top 10, but there has to be 4 more better than the Keelut. Which might happen next week or in 2 weeks.
It's gonna. We're gonna do. We do the top 16. It's an even bracket, so that
8 and 8 on each side.
8, 4, 2, 1.
Angry.
Yep.
Yes.
But yeah, no.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a good show, bro.
Good show. Holy crap, good show. I'm still shocked that Adlet scored as high as it did. I didn't think it would be in the 40s like the Keelut, but I kind of figured about 55 is where that Adlet would end up, but it ended up at a 62. I quite enjoyed. I love talking about the Osark Howler.
So our average score this week, counting our Scare Network cryptid, is 64.
6-4. That's still not a bad score for all 4, especially when you got a 47 sitting on the board.
Scare Network one definitely raised the bar a little bit. Definitely raised the curve.
Yeah.
Like literally, you're like, it makes sense that we're right because our 2 middle ones are 62 and 65.
Yeah, if you kick out the highest and the lowest and you put 62 and 65, that's what?
That's 63.5.
So 64. So makes
64.
perfect sense.
Bite.
Makes perfect sense.
Richard.
Oh. So next week we are talking
Undecided.
all about the haunts of Alaska. Then we're gonna pick 4
north to Alaska.
4.
We're gonna pick 4 locations. One we'll do exclusively on Scare Network TV. And I'm gonna put the banner up again. So
and the other 3 will be
go to Scare Network TV and sign up.
Watch this. Subscribe and watch, people. Subscribe and watch.
There's so much content on there. Definitely check that out.
How does it work?
Really? Okay. All right. I'll let you know how it works. Basically, you go to Scare Network Television. It's going to ask what type of subscription you'd like. You can pay $49.99 a month, which is still pretty cheap, or you can save yourself $20 a year and just pay for the annually and pay only $40, and you can watch all their content on there. Not only do you get to see us, but you get to see all the documentaries, whether they're done by Scare Network Television or outside people that have he has documentaries from,
I am in
which
pain.
are really good as well.
Cold.
He's got a great library of horror on there with the classics and the B movies and independent films that are on there. There's a lot of content to watch on there.
True crime, he does. He has some true crime on there.
So there's a lot of good stuff. Everything that's on there is produced very well, directed very well, at least by for Billy. But it's wow. I love Scare Network Television, and I think everybody will love Scare Network Television. So go check them out.
Yeah.
What was your aha moment of tonight?
Leave me alone.
On the live.
Haunted.
I had something and I lost it. What was it?
I know what my aha moment was.
What was yours?
Well, it was more of a haha moment. It was.
Oh my God. Wait, that's got to come with this.
Come on. How many? Inmate.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh. But honestly, my aha moment is the actual Adlet. Um, I know it wasn't our highest score of the night, but
But it was good.
the danger level of that thing, the
Who is
feelings
The
of
she?
that,
aggression.
the aggression.
Yeah, that
Uh,
whole story behind it,
yeah,
just crazy.
yeah,
Respect.
yeah,
Major respect.
yeah. And again, the factor that reached into Russia and Asia and in Europe from both
Friend.
sides, I like that part of the story and the lore.
Yeah,
It
Friend.
was
no,
good.
I gotta say
Clue.
the tie between the Adlet and the werewolf, and also even going into the Keelut.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Keelut had ties into the werewolf too,
Sorry.
which we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
I don't know if that changes any of the scoring.
Well, it ties into the church grim, but it's interesting. So I think everything started with the Adlet, and then the Adlet went over and kind of
Louder.
created the werewolf, and then the werewolf actually
Oh.
came back and created the Keelut.
I was saying, so do you think the Keelut
So
is an imitation of the Adlet? Like it's like that
Karma.
elemental earth
I think it's
spirit?
like the evolution. I think it's like
Don't. Lady of the night.
uh, the descendant of the Adlet. I think the Adlet is the ancestor and the Keelut is the descendant.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
in the
interesting.
middle is the werewolf. I think it all kind of because the
Me.
werewolf ties into the church grim and the church grim ties into the Keelut.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Church.
Interesting tie in there.
And church, thank you for that
Yeah, church.
intelligent reference. Thank you.
Are
Church
you a
grim.
friend?
I am a friend.
Uh,
Um, so
whew,
yeah, I think that was my aha moment was its connection to the actual werewolf.
I like
And
it.
and yeah, and I love
Murder.
that whole story. I
Oof.
all
Never.
right, let's make like horse shit and hit the trail, bro.
Where
Yeah,
am I?
yeah, it's that time, folks. So first things first, I want to say thank you to Anchor. Anchor is what allows us to take the audio portion of this live broadcast, put it in your favorite spots like Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Apple Podcasts, and of course, good old iHeartRadio and Amazon Music. Without Anchor, we wouldn't be able to broadcast those to your favorite sites. Anchor is a great way to start your broadcast. They actually help sponsor you when you're starting, and it's a great way to grow your podcast. So as you grow with your fan base, they'll actually help you find more sponsors and help you grow in that way as well. So that's a great way to start. It's a great way to keep your podcast going. So
Undecided.
thank you, Anchor, for that. And again, we want to thank StreamYard. StreamYard is what allows us to do the multicasting where
Sure.
we can be on the YouTube Spirits with John and Dave page, the Facebook Spiritual Spirits page, and of course the Twitch Spiritual Spirits page. So lots of ways for you guys to listen, lots of ways for you guys to watch. And of course, again, want to give a big shout out to Scare Network Television for allowing us to be part of their family. Again, go subscribe to their network and check out the exclusives that we do there and all the exclusive content on Scare Network Television. You will enjoy it. Dave, it is that time to make like a tree and leave.
Yep. Let's make like a
That's
baby and head out.
that's right.
Where?
Those of you what you can always go to the Spiritual
I'm
Spirits
coming.
13 on Instagram or even the 4K lowdown on Instagram after the show. We're gonna be live there
Check out our
doing
post
the
game
post
wrap
game.
up.
Oh, it's gonna be interesting, I think, tonight. Again, thanks everybody for watching. Have a great night and appreciate you.
We'll see you next week. Spirits with spirits.